So Sonic 3 was pretty good. I really liked it. We're not talking about that today. I know my channel's more so focused on Nintendo stuff and Sonic, but I also really love PlayStation. I love Ratchet, I love Astrobot, I love Parappa. That one doesn't even count. I'm glad the brand's still going strong to this day, even if the newest one doesn't have any games. I was first introduced to PlayStation with the PS3. It actually came out the same week I was born, so that's cool, I guess. It was actually how I played a lot of games I still really love to this day, like Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. Okay, a lot of Sonic, but you get the point. I could keep going on and on and on about this thing, but this isn't a PS3 video. It's about this guy. The PS2 is one of my favorite game consoles of all time. Second place right behind the GameCube, which will also get its own video one day. It's got a lot of pretty good games. No, not that one. Not that one either. Definitely not. God damn it. Following rumors in 1997 about a successor to the PS1, the PS2 was officially announced on March 2nd, 1999, and was officially shown off for the first time on September 20th that same year. Literally 11 days after the Dreamcast North American launch. What the fuck? The PS2 launched on October 26, 2000 over here in America, but in Japan it released on March 4th, 2000. Either way, still a whole year before its competitors. Absolutely killed them in sales too. This thing was huge. It had a ton, and I mean a ton, of popular games that a lot of people really wanted to play. It could even play DVD movies too. Wait, hold on, something's missing. There we go. You could even play music CDs and PS1 games if you were too stubborn to convert. You did need a PS1 memory card to save your games though. Similar to what the Wii did a few years later if you wanted to save your GameCube games. While it did have its competitors, especially the GameCube beating a lot of areas, one area it kind of fell behind them was definitely power. Yeah, the PS2 was weaker than the GameCube and the Xbox. I know it being more powerful than the first one sounds a bit implausible because of that, but it is, trust me. It being harder to develop for than the other two systems led to a lot of multi-platform games looking and running a lot worse. Case in point, the PS2 version of Sonic Heroes.
Level up!
It still had a lot of really beautiful looking games though. Stuff like Sly Cooper, Ratchet, and Jak and Daxter still look really nice today. Alright, enough talk about all that nerd stuff. Let's actually turn the thing on. I don't have a capture card, so I'm recording this off my TV. Oh yeah, always remember to turn your TV down before you turn this thing on. So out of the gate you have a few options here. You can press the triangle button to check your system version. You can configure your system settings in the system configuration menu. Stuff like screen size, component cable output, the system's clock, all that stuff. Finally, there's the memory card browser. Guess what you do here? I really love looking through this menu. Part of the fun of getting a new PS2 game is seeing what the memory card icon looks like. Some of these icons I really love. The icon for Sonic Unleashed has this really cute model of Chip.
Oh wow, that's the day the trailer for movie 3 came out. Neat.
I think my favorite one is the one for the SpongeBob movie game. Look at him go. He's so silly. Some of these are just...
I don't think Alex is okay.
Shark Tale 1 is strange too, what the fuck? Other times there'll be the logo for the game or an item you collect in the game. Games like Rayman 3 even let you save photos to the PS2. Oh. Other games like Pro Skater 3 let you save replays to the memory card. If you're wondering what all these cameras are on it, it's those. You can also boot up your discs from this menu too. And if you put a PS1 disc in, you can press the triangle button to look at the CD's audio tracks. So that's neat.
I can't see it because the lights are off, but there's like a Dreamcast thing in here. Cool.
I guess since we're on the topic of discs, we can talk about the games now. I have way too many games for this thing. My collection's very, me, if you know what I mean. Like, I have some of the usual games you'd expect, you know, like Ratchet, Pro Skater, Kingdom Hearts, and then actual good video games like Open Season.
I forgot Tac 3.
I also have this network adapter startup disc. It's got some game demos on it, too. I don't play that Madden shit, and I am terrible at frequency, so my personal stuff aside, I really love the PS2's game library. A lot of games during this era start to look a lot more realistic than they did on PS1, though they still weren't at that hyper-realistic stage that we started seeing on the Xbox 360 and PS3. So it's kind of this janky little middle ground that I really love, honestly. Not to say that 360 and PS3 didn't have their own growing pains. Y'all see how Tony Hawk Project 8 looks on the 360? Good lord. Another thing I really love is when PS1 games get sequels on this system. It's always fun to see these games taking advantage of the new hardware. Stuff like Pro Skater 3, Parappa the Rapper 2, Pac-Man World 2. Some definitely made the jump better than others. Crash and Spyro sadly really fumbled this generation. There were still some good games here and there. Crash to Insanity, my beloved, but yeah, this era wasn't too kind to him. There's also a lot of really strange games on this thing. Like, dude, I really gotta talk about Tetris Worlds because, like, what is this thing? For some reason, this game has a story mode, and, like, lore, and the goal is to free these Tetris block creatures called Minos from these gates that you play Tetris on. Then whenever you get a combo, this woman says the name of it in the most seductive way possible. It's strange, man. I don't know. You can even customize your own Mino. This is Jimmy. Say hi to him. There's some other game modes, and they're fine. I don't really have much else to say about them. Hotline Tetris is really fun, though. This game also had a pretty strenuous development and did release to pretty negative reviews. Honestly, for what it is, it's fine. It's not my favorite version of Tetris, but it's still Tetris. I'm gonna eat that shit up regardless. This was published by THQ, who published a lot of licensed games for this system, in addition to the other two. Sometimes they'd publish something original like Destroy All Humans. In the remake that came out a few years ago were pretty good. I wish more people talked about them. Speaking of games no one talks about, nobody talks about Thrillville, and I really wish they did because I really love this game and its sequel. I started getting into them over a month ago and I just cannot get enough of them. I'm starting to run out of things to talk about, so I guess it's time for me to start wrapping things up. As we all know, the PS2 had become the highest selling video game console of all time, outliving both of its competitors by a horrifying degree. The last game for the system was released a week before the PS4 came out. Think about that. I really love this thing to pieces. My heart may belong to that purple cube that plays Sonic Heroes and nothing else, but that doesn't change how much I love this thing that also plays Sonic Heroes. Shadow the Hedgehog is a bad game.